Hello, dear students. Today we will discuss here link layer switches and bridges. We will discuss the topic here learning bridges and spanning tree protocol. Basically, as we know, data link layer is the second layer of the TCP/IP OSI model, which task is to divide the stream of bits from the physical layer into the data frames and transmit the frames according to the switching requirements. Basically, network switching is the process of forwarding the data frames or packets from one port to the another, leading to the data transmission from source to the destination. As we know, switching in the data link layer is done by the network devices, that is called here bridges. Basically this bridge connects more than one LANs. Data link layer bridges connects the multiple LANs together to the form a big LAN. This process of aggregating networks is called network bridging, and a bridge connects the different components so that they appears as a part of a single network. Basically, you can just transmit from this machine to this machine and both machines on the different LAN, and these different LANs are connected with the this bridge, and so both are just feels that these are on the same network. Now, switching by bridges. When a data frames arrives at a particular port of a bridge, the bridge examines the frame's data link address, or more specifically the MAC address. If the destination address as well as the required switching is valid, the bridge sends the frame to the destination port. Otherwise, the frame is discarded. The bridge is not responsible for end-to-end data transfer. It is concerned with the transmitting the data frames from one hop to the next hop. Hence, they do not examine the payload field, which is the actual data, and due to this reason, they can help in switching and any kind of packets from the network layer or above. Basically, bridge also connects the virtual LANs just like the physical LANs. Here it also connects the VLANs to make a larger VLAN. If any segment of the bridge network is wireless, a wireless bridge is used to perform the switching. Basically, the goal of bridges is the self-configuring. Without the hardware or software changes, bridge should not impact the operation of the existing LAN. And basically, to understand the bridge, we have to understand these three parts. First one is the forwarding of the frames, learning of the addressing, and spanning tree protocol we will discuss here. Basically, first one is the forwarding of the frames. Just like a data link layer frame contains these three, maintain these tables, and each bridge maintain a MAC forwarding table, and this is the MAC forwarding table, MAC address, port address, and age of the frame. Forwarding table plays the same role as the routing table as in an IP router, and the entries have the form that are the MAC address, port address, and age, where MAC address is the machine address, and port address is the port number of the bridge, and aging is the time of entry in the seconds. This is the MAC forwarding table. And second one is the learning, how bridge learn these packets, how this will be forwarded. Basically, see this example here. Suppose in this example there are three LAN 1, 2 and 3. These are connected via this bridge, and suppose the machine C, which is on LAN 1, wants to transfer a message to the machine D, which is on the LAN 2. Basically, this bridge don't know which machine are located on which LAN. First, basically C will forward the packet to this bridge. Basically, it will first forward the broadcasting frame to all the these LANs, and bridge will forward by this C packets. And when C frame is received by this bridge, the bridge will learn that the C machine is on the LAN 1, and basically see this here, when bridge forward the packets to the this LAN 2, and machine D is lying in the LAN 2, and this machine D will reply to this bridge. This means when machine D will reply to this bridge now know the D machine in the located in the LAN 2, and C machine located on the LAN 1. Now, when this bridge find the packet of this machine D, and bridge already know that C machine is here in the LAN 1, it will directly communicate to C rather than broadcasting, and this communication will be completed, and this LAN will be just ignored to broadcast the packet, because the communication C and D is now completed here. Now, and what are the problems with the network of the bridges? Basically, there are the problem of the looping. Basically, consider this example. There are the two LANs are connected, two bridges, LAN 1, LAN 2, and bridge. This is connected via the bridge A and bridge B. Now, what problems it will occur? Basically, just in the previous example, this bridge just broadcast the message frame packet to all associated LANs. Similarly, when suppose this machine host n that is located in LAN 1, and this sends the message basically to communicate any machine to LAN 2, just this will broadcast here, and LAN 1, this bridge A will broadcast in LAN 2, and this LAN 2 also connected with this LAN 1 and LAN 2. So, the duplicate packet is just bridge B also transfer here, and LAN 1 to bridge B to LAN 1, and similarly again bridge A, LAN 1 to bridge A and LAN 2. This means thus the storm of the flood will be here, and bridge B sees F on the LAN 2 with the unknown destination and copies the frame back to the LAN 1. So, this process will go on, and a loop is just created here because of the broadcast storm. So, this is the problem in this bridging. So, to remove this we will use here STP protocol, spanning tree protocol. The solution is here for this loop avoidance and redundant links, and this loop avoidance and redundant links can be implemented with this STP protocol, spanning tree protocol, and there are the three variant of the STP protocol: IEEE 802.1d, that is the STP, IEEE 802.1w, that is the RSTP, rapid spanning tree protocol, and third one is the IEEE 802.1s, that is the MSTP, multiple spanning tree protocol. But in this video we will discuss here only this STP protocol. Now, loop issue with the STP protocol. Basically, a loop is not allowed in the L2 Ethernet network. If there is a loop, it will create a broadcast storm which will bring the network operation down. Just we will discuss here the loop problem here. See here, this will create the loop here, and the packet will just forwarded again by and create the broadcast storm, and this is the self loop here. So, network capability will be become down. Now, loop avoidance, to avoid this problem, here the STP protocol is implemented, and STP protocol what do, it will just one link, it will be just one physical link, it will just logically block here, so that loop can be avoided here. The spanning tree protocol can resolve this issue, just like this is the loop, and this physical link here will be blocked logically, and the loop avoidance will be here. Now, redundant link, what redundant link will do, suppose the physical link will be down, this block link will be now it will be unblocked to communicate properly. If one of the connections fails, the STP protocol will unblock the port and provide the redundancy. So, basically what we can implement with the STP protocol, first one is the loop avoidance by logically blocking the physical link, and we can also unblock the physical link if any physical link will fail. Now, BPDU, what is the bridge protocol data unit? Basically, the STP is defined in this standard IEEE 802.1d, and all switches bridges in the network gather the information about other switches through the data message exchange. These messages are called the BPDU. So this exchanging message called here the bridge protocol data unit, that is the BPDU, and BPDU are used to calculate the HTTP protocol. This is the BPDU bridge protocol data unit frame format. A BPDU is the data frame used by the HTTP protocol, and it is used to exchange the essential information between the switches to derive the path information, and the exchange is done every 2 seconds by default, so that the switches can keep track of the network changes every 2 seconds. It will just send this exchange this BPDU message. The IEEE 802.1d HTTP multicast destination address is the for the BPDU is the 0180C2000000. This is the multicast address for this standard HTTP. Here is the 2 byte of the protocol ID, 1 byte version, 1 byte BPDU type, 1 byte flags, 8 byte root ID, and 4 byte root path cost. Bridge ID is having the 8 byte, port ID 2 byte, message here 2 byte, messages, and maximum age is the 2 byte, hello time 2 byte, and forward delay 2 byte. And root ID is decided by the priority and MAC address, and bridge ID also decided by the priority and the MAC address. This is the just given the definition whatever just discussed here. Thank you.